Hello everyone, welcome to a video on Star Resonance. If you guys have gotten into the game and you're just like me, eventually you'll start to realize that life skilling is an important part of the game to go ahead and be able to level yourself up, your gear, your armor, and accessories. Well, after going ahead and looking at it myself, I started to realize that there's a lot of different types of life skilling. And a lot of it is really used for upgrade materials such as your mystery metal, your radiant stone, and your fine forge stones. And the way to unlock them is kind of tedious, and crafting them is going to be able to take more than one recipe to do so. Now you could always go ahead and buy these materials off the store, but in my opinion, I think it's a lot easier to go ahead and do it yourself. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this video, go in a little bit more depth about the process in doing it, and some drawbacks that I think, although necessary, will probably hold you back from trying to craft your accessories or your materials to be able to further progress in your enhancements. Alright, the first thing that we're going to talk about in this life skilling aspect is going to be your stamina bar. It's essentially the quote-unquote currency that you're going to need to use to be able to do things like mining rocks, smelting ores, and doing all these other things just to be able to craft the materials that you need to further enhance your gear, armor, and weapons. For the most part, you have a daily cap. That cap refreshes every day at around 400 stamina, and the only other way to be able to obtain stamina are through these little stamina potions. At the moment right now, the only way you're able to actually get these stamina potions are through the season pass, the guild store, and the mystery store. And apart from that, there's no actual other way. Like you can't craft this potion, you can't do anything else. This is your only way of being able to get into it. And that's pretty much it for stamina. You need it to be able to do your life skilling. Just make sure you guys are paying attention to how much you're using and what you're using it for. Life skilling aspects are going to be a variation of different types of life skillings that you guys are going to have. In your life skilling tabs to the left, you see all the different types of life skilling that you're able to do. Different things. You're able to make different materials, whether it be armor, weapons, healing buffs, potions. Everything that you're going to be able to need and focus on is going to be in this section right here. The most important aspects of life skilling, in my opinion, are going to have to be the materials used for, enhancing your armor, your weapons, and your gear. Other aspects are going to be including, things like health buffs, food buffs, things like this to kind of help you out whenever you're actually doing dungeons and raids. Everything that you're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to make it and craft it and sell it if you guys want to try to make a few Luna. In every aspect of life skilling, you're going to have different forms that you're going to be able to collect in terms of materials. If we go ahead and look at mineralogy as our first life skilling aspect, you'll see that we have focused and regular. In our focus section, it's very important to note that whenever you're collecting these ores, you collect the actual ore plus extra whenever you're going out to mine. These are very important because you get all these materials you could see on the drops over here to the right that you do collect the borrow ore. The difference is whenever you go out and collect regular ore like the borrow ore, it's not something that drops for you. You do collect other materials like your fine metal sand, you get your iron ore. These are materials that could drop whenever you're collecting. The things to note about the differences is in focused for the borrow ore, you can collect it, but you need to be able to have it as a talent. So in your talents, you have to unlock these borrow ore novice, And this lets you learn how to gather borrow ore specifically, which allows you to focus collecting these materials. To be able to get your talents, you need these coins that are called life skill masteries. And you have to consume a certain amount of stamina just to be able to obtain these life skill masteries. And without it, if you don't learn these talents, you won't be able to collect your focus materials like your borrow and your asta ore. Your regular, however, as you can see, it does collect some important materials as well, but for the most part, they're all about the same. And these you only gain after leveling up your mineralogy level, which is located here on the left. The more you collect and stamina that you use doing a certain life skill is how you level up that aspect of your life skill. I wanted to go ahead and talk to everybody about the enhancement materials that you're going to need. This is a very important aspect of life skilling, and you're really going to need it to be able to go ahead and enhance most of your gear and your weapons to be able to gain some more like character AP and everything else in the game, to be able to further, progress in your dungeons and your open world activities. The thing is about focus materials, just like we talked about mineralogy before, to be able to unlock these, you'll have to unlock their talents as well. And for the most part, it will tell you how to unlock it over here at the right, where you see you'll need to unlock, for example, expertise, machine processing level 1. This is something that you'll find over here whenever you go down, and you'll see in the talents tab, it's the only way to be able to obtain these talents, to unlock them. Once you unlock these, you'll be able to smelt your enhancement materials using focused smelting. Now, everything when it comes to enhancement materials it's a combination of using two different materials. As we talked about before, the borrow ore, which you get from mineralogy, again, it also has to be focused. So make sure you guys are using your stamina so you get your coins, the life skill mastery coins. And that way you guys could be able to use your talents to go ahead and unlock your focused life skill. In this case, every single enhancement material is going to have typically your ores, which come from mineralogy. I feel like these two things work hand in hand whenever it comes to unlocking enhancement materials. For the most part, these things right here in your talents, the more you unlock from going from level 1 to level 2 would go ahead and be able to unlock better materials when it comes to your mineralogy. You're able to get rich ore, which essentially gives you more materials for the ore that you're mining. I want to go ahead and touch up on a few things based on armor, weapons, and accessories. Now, as I showed before, in smelting, you do see a lot of your weapons and your armor located in smelting that require different materials that you collect from mining and everything else. But smelting and everything else is not all the same materials. If you go down into gem crafting, and if you scroll down, you'll see that most of your accessories, your rings, your earrings, your necklaces and bracelets all come from gem crafting. Same thing whenever you go down to weaving, it has armor and weapons. It's not the same type that you'll see in smelting. It's different versions of the same outfit with different attributes and different ways to obtain these armors. The only difference is going to be the fact that everything is connected to something else. Smelting being connected to mineralogy, geomology connected to gem crafting, and for example, alchemy with culinary and botany, everything else is essentially connected to one another. You'll have to unlock multiple different things in your life skill path to be able to use for everything else. Eventually, this does seem like it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of stamina just to be able to go ahead and do this. And I know it'll be a lot easier to just buy most of these materials off the store. I do still think just about every person in this game is gonna have to have some form of life skilling attribute. to be able to progress in the game and to be able to level your character up more and to gain better enhancement levels on your weapon and gear. Now that we've talked a little bit about how to do life skilling, it's kind of important to figure out where exactly you go to perform most of your life skilling activities. Everything mainly is going to be located here down in the town square for you guys. If you go over here at the bottom of your map, down by the Artisans Guild, you'll see that Smelting Exchange, Gear Store, everything else is located over here. You have your Botany and Related Exchange. Mainly down in this area is where you're going to find everything else. You'll have some of your weaving and everything else over here at the top of the map. And for the most part, this is where a lot of players are going to come down and do a lot of their life skilling. This area right here is where you go ahead and you perform most of your smelting materials from mining your ores and everything else. Your smelting comes from here, your borrow ore goes through here, and it tells you how much stamina one of these is going to take. At the moment, I can't do any. It won't let me change the quantity at all. You do have two different probabilities for the most part. You will only be getting one enhanced material per smelting, and you have a 20% chance to get 2 materials. I've checked it myself. I mean, the numbers check out. I've gotten 2, sometimes I've gotten 1. It really all depends on your probability. And for everything else, just like smelting, everything else around the city will have different types of ways to create whatever you're trying to do with your materials that you've obtained. Just a couple tips when it comes to life skilling. Make sure that whenever you guys consume your stamina, you're doing it for the exact amount of materials that you need to enhance your gear, or if you're trying to create any type of armor piece or accessories. Reason is because you're very limited on how much stamina that you're actually allotted per day, only 400. And you'll start to realize pretty quickly that you'll use that stamina rather quickly, and the only way to be able to get it is your stamina potions. In the closed beta test, it doesn't seem like so far that there's a good way to do so, but eventually upgrading your guild house will allow you to get some of those. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.